Hey, so today we're going to crack open a really powerful, but honestly, pretty misunderstood Virginia law. It's all about putting you back in the driver's seat when it comes to your insurance rates and your driving record. So let's get right into it. Does it ever feel like your car insurance bill is just slowly creeping up every single year? Or maybe you worry that one little ticket is going to haunt your rates for like the next 3 years. These are super common frustrations for drivers. But if you're in Virginia, you actually have a lot more control than you probably think. That's right. It turns out there are specific rules right in the Code of Virginia that basically act like a toolkit for smart drivers. And these aren't some sneaky loopholes, they are established legal ways to reward you for learning to be a safer driver. Let's break down the two main tools you've got. Okay, tool number one, and this is the one that hits you right in the wallet, a legally recognized discount on your insurance premium. But, and this is important, how you get it really depends on your age. So let's look at the two different ways this works.
So, what's really interesting here is the difference. Look, if you're 55 or older and you voluntarily take an approved mature driver course, the law says your insurance company must give you a discount for 3 whole years. Now, for drivers 54 and younger, taking a driver improvement clinic gets you a 2-year discount, but the law says the insurer may offer it. That little word makes a huge difference.
So, what do you actually have to do? The absolute key word here is voluntarily. This cannot be a course that a judge or the DMV has ordered you to take. All you do is find a DMV-approved course, you can do it in a classroom or online, you complete it, and then you just hand that completion certificate over to your insurance company. It's really that simple.
And get this isn't just some friendly suggestion from the DMV. The law itself, right there in the Code of Virginia, mandates this for drivers 55 and over. It is a real, legally defined benefit that lets you lower your own rates just by taking a course.
All right, on to the second tool in your kit. Because beyond just saving some cash, this same law gives you a way to actively clean up your driving record. And this is all about managing those demerit points.
And there it is. That is the magic number. 5. This is what makes this tool so incredibly powerful. That's how many demerit points you can just wipe away from your Virginia driving record.
So by voluntarily taking and passing that same DMV-approved clinic, you can erase up to 5 of those negative points. And what's cool is if you don't have any points to get rid of, the state can give you up to 5 safe driving points instead, which kind of act like a buffer for any future tickets. It's basically your chance to hit a reset button on a small mistake. But here's the catch. This is where you have to make a choice. When you finish one of these voluntary classes, the law says, okay, pick one, because you can only claim one of these benefits. And this is probably the single most important rule to burn into your brain. One course equals one benefit. You have to tell the course provider before you start whether you're there for the insurance discount or for the points reduction. You cannot get both from doing the class just one time.
Okay, so everything we've talked about up to now has been about choosing to take a class. But sometimes you don't get a choice, and that is a completely different ballgame with totally different rules.
So who gets told they have to go? Well, the law is super specific. The DMV will make you attend a clinic if you rack up too many demerit points in a certain amount of time, say 12 points in 12 months for an adult. Or a judge can straight up order you to attend one as part of your sentence for a traffic ticket.
And here it is, the big rule you absolutely cannot forget. If you are required to attend, either by a court or by the DMV, you are not eligible for that insurance discount. That perk is only, and I mean only, for people who choose to go on their own. And just as a quick refresher on why we even care about these points, just think of them as black marks on your record. Every time you get a traffic conviction, points get added. Get too many, and the DMV can actually suspend your license. So, yeah, having a tool to remove them is a pretty big deal. And look, if a judge tells you to go, you absolutely have to go. The law is very clear that if you blow off a court-ordered clinic, it's not just a traffic problem anymore. It can be treated as contempt of court, and trust me, that carries way more serious penalties. Okay, so we've gone through the tools, we've gone through the rules. Let's put it all together into a simple little playbook so you can actually make this law work for you.
This table right here, this is basically your cheat sheet. Remember, if you're 55 and up, you can take that course for discount every 3 years. Younger drivers can go for that discount every 2 years. And anybody who goes voluntarily can get that 5-point reduction once every 2 years. Knowing this lets you plan it all out.
So here it is in 4 easy steps. 1. You enroll. 2. You tell them out front which benefit you're choosing. 3. You pass the course. And 4. You give the certificate to your insurance company. It's a really clear process. And step 2, making that choice, that is the key to getting the result you actually want.
So the real takeaway here is that just knowing this law exists changes everything. It takes you from being a passive driver who just accepts higher rates and points and turns you into an active manager of your own driving profile. The tools are just sitting there, waiting for you to use them. And really, that's what it all boils down to, right? This Virginia law gives you a clear path to make sure your record actually reflects your commitment to being a safe driver, and it saves you money while you do it. So the only real question left is, are you going to use it?